Hello. Okay, we continue with Mulefis Sappirim. We are in, talking about Malas Hamalachim. It's Yom Hashmini, Sif Gimel. Kosef Bereshis, Daf Menvav on Beis. This was Zoram Bereshis Menvav on Beis. Vofi Ofif. So Zora's commenting on the pasuk, and the birds will fly on the fifth day of creation. I'm Rabbi Lazar. Ya'ofef mi ba ya'uf mi baile. It should be ya'uf, not ya'ofef. Right? Amar Rabbi Shimon Zeu Sod. So Rabbi Shimon says, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Lazar's father, says this is a secret. Va'of ze Michal. So va'of refers to the Malch Michal. Ya'ofef, right, is Gavriel. Ze Gavriel shekosbo by Daniel. That Daniel had a vision and he saw the Malch Gavriel. Mo'af b'ya'af. Mo'af b'ya'af. So it's like a double lashon. So Ya'ofef for Mo'af b'ya'af. Al ha'aretz. Ya'ofef, the pasuk goes on by the creation of the birds. Al ha'aretz, on the earth. Zelio, Shnim Tzataretz, referring to Elio Navi, he may be like an angel, but he's constantly on missions on earth. Right? Right? Al Pnei, right? Right? So now the right. So they hover on top of on top of the earth and over the sea. So Zem Al Chamav, so the one that's Al Pane, on the face of, hovering above, that's the Malchamavis. Amalo Rabbi Abba. So Rabbi Abba said to Rabbi Shimon, Malchamavis b'nivra b'sheni. Malchamavis was created on the second day of creation, because that's when all bad things were created, by the Yom HaSheni. That's why it doesn't say Kitov on Yom HaSheni, because it was the day of Machlokas, and just like Machlokas was created on that day when he split the waters, also Gehenna was created on that day, and seemingly Yitzhar, and everything bad seemingly was created on Yom HaSheni. Ella Ala Aretz, Raphael, Shufar Sanchez Aretz, right? So I'm sorry, it's Al Pnei Rakia. I misremembered the pasuk. The pasuk is Al Pnei Hashamayim, or Al Pnei Rakia, right there. So the Al Pnei. So the Al Pnei we thought was Machmas. Rabbi Abba argued on that and said Machmas wasn't Nivran Yom HaChamishi with the rest of the angels. He was Nivran Yom HaSheni, with all the bad stuff. So Rabbi Abba has a different shot. Al Oretz Zerafal. So Al Oretz not referring to Eliyahu and Rabbi Abba, it's referring to the Malach Rafal. Shemula Rafal Sanche Arts. Because he's always coming here to do refuah, to heal the people on earth. People in Shemaim don't need refuah; they're dead already. Okay. So Al Oretz is Rafal. So Memula Refuah Sanche Arts. Al Pnei Rakia Shemaim is Uriel. So the one who goes up here, Rakia Shemaim is Uriel. V'zes kol nefesh chayro mesa says, and all the and all the and all the the creepy crawling things, that the creepy crawling things, El Yisrael, right? This is Klal Yisrael, it's creepy crawling things, it's like other amphibious creatures that live in the water, and that's Yisrael that are brought forth by the water. Ein Mayim El Torah. The water refers to the waters of Torah, and Am Yisrael, we're water creatures. This is the famous story of how the Moshe Rabbi Kiva gave, of the Goyim suggests that just leave the Torah and we'll leave you alone. That's like the Shual saying to the Dogim, come out of the water and be friends. Listen, and the Dogim answer, this is our makom of chiyus, and here we're still afraid of you. Kavachomer, if we leave our life source. Yeah, so Am Yisrael is nimshal, to the water creatures, and the water is Torah, and we have a relationship of Torah being kihem chayenu, similar to Klal Yisrael is to Torah like a fish or any amphibious creature is to water. Okay. Okay. Cause of the Sefer Bracious, not for Shalom and Aleph, and Aleph. So now another Zohar and Bracious for Shalom and Aleph and Aleph. Bishah Sapara Shemesh. At the time when HaKadosh created the sun on Yom HaRavi, right? Hakruvim ayu mekishim b'kanfeim ve'u parsim osam. So the kruvim, were banging, with their wings, and were spreading them. V'yanishma kol nigun kanfeim lamala, and made a lot of sound, with their wings in heaven. And then they started singing, those angels started singing the song of the first Mishmar. Gemara beginning brachas, there are Mishmaros in Shemayim. It's a machlokes, there's 3 or 4, but there are Mishmaros. So they're the angels that is Mishmar Rishona, which comes at the very beginning of the night, start saying their Shira. Right? Mashayu Omrim, and what was the shir? They say they Baruch Hashem, Suyadechem Kodesh, Mizel Atchol Machim Mishara. Right? So they say the psukim in Tehillim Kuflam Medawad Amarav. Right? Suyadechem Kodesh Baruch Hashem. Right? And that's the beginning of that's the beginning for these angels to sing. So I guess it's immediately on the Mishmar Rishona, right after day passes. So the sun was created, and as the day passed, the angels started, making the noise to instigate, be more the Shira, and with that, the Shira of the Mishmar Rishona commenced. So now it comes Mishmar Shniya. So again, the Kruvim bang again with their wings. Another time, second time, personal some, and they spread them, and of course that sound that comes from their wings, that the tune that comes from it goes to heaven. Could go and convey a kruvim, and then right. So then the heavenly angels now sing, and the angels that sing the Mishmar Shniya. Now also, so it seems it always starts with the kruvim banging their wings together and making a tune that starts the shira. So just like they didn't start the shira, the Mishmar Rishon, they do it and started the Mishmar Shniya, right? The second guard, and these Malchei Elyon, which are like the kruvim, right? They start saying a song, right, similar to the sound that came from the wings of the kruvim. Habotum Gashem outside they say Kapitel Kuf Chaf Hey, those who have Bitachar Hashem will be stand firm like Har Sion itself. But then during this Mishmar Shniya, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, awakens all the heavenly armies, the heavenly multitudes to cry. Uboy Barakia, and he kicks the firmament. And the Elyonim, the higher ones, the lower ones, they all shake and shudder. Right? This is Tikkun Chatzos. Right? Mishmar Shniya is the one where it either starts at Chatzos or goes through Chatzos. And, and I guess it's a time to, be upset with Chorban Abayis and everything that's wrong with the world, before things shift to Rachamim afterwards. Right. And then the same thing happens in the, at the beginning of the Mishmar Shniya. It starts with the kruvim again banging with their wings and spraying them, and it makes a sound. Right. Right, and then that the sound of the tune made by the wings gets heard up in heaven. What's the shir? They say Haluk Avdei Hashem Yishem Hashem Mavorach Me'at Vados Tim Kufid Gimel, which is the beginning of Hallow. There's a shir Vol, right? Vaz Kolachem Mishraim B'Mishmar Shishes. Right, so now it seems that all the angels join together in the shir. So I guess there are angels that are specific to that mishmar, but so as all the angels seems to join, in the third mishmar. And also all the stars of heaven also sing at that time, as the pasuk says, "Baran Yachad Kochvei Shman Yariu." It's a pasuk in Eov. Together all these stars sing. Yes, it's at the end of the night, right before they give way to day. That's when they sing their song. And that's what it says until Malu Kol Kochvei Or. Hashem should be praised by all the stars that give off light. All right, hey, Kosovo Sefer Bereshis Daf Reish Lamed Amid Alf says the Sefer Bereshis Reish Lamed Alf Reish Lamed Amid Alf Tzlulei Erev, Kinotu Tzlulei Erev, the shadows of evening come. Hey, what are these shadows eating? Hey, Malchim Makachkim V'Rog Zaydinim Amizumanim Leiserv. These shadows of evening are actually the angels that are prosecutors and the ones that cause turmoil of din to awaken. Hamuzam Leiserv, right? And they come out, they're invited out, every evening. That's kayadua. The din is from is the first half of the night. Kayadua. That's why we don't say tachnun then. That's why we don't say vidui. We don't say yud gimel midas. It's time of din until chatzos. So the first half of the night, tzilei erev, which begins is the beginning of the night. Shadows of the night. It's the beginning of the night. That's when the dinim start. It reaches its climax at chatzos, and then at that everything shifts to rachamim. Right. All right. So now this is like your mamash. It happens at the end of the day already. It's still mamash. The Hanoga shifts to din mamash at nighttime, but it's already tzilei erev is like late afternoon. Right, as the shadows of night, I guess I'm going to guess on this. I've always been under the impression it's called Tzilei Erev because that's where you get these long shadows because the sun is to the extreme of the west, and it says so if you walk the streets, then you'll see shadows. No shadows at Chatzos, let's say when the sun is high in the sky, beaming directly down. The sun is at the edge, so it slowly makes shadows. These are the shadows of night as the sun is, low in the west. Right, and those shadows, Tzilei Erev also refer to these angels that are ready to be makatrik. That's why you should stop in Marav afterwards and go to sleep and stay out of trouble until Chatzos. Right? So there's the Zohar that you have to be very carefully machabed in any tefillah, but certainly tefillah samincha, that's what Chazal say. In the Gemara it says, Hevuzirim betefillah samincha, right? Because but the Gemara puts a positive spin because it's that Eliyahu was answered at Shasa Mincha, and it gives examples. People that are answered for Shasa Mincha. So the Bavli, puts a good spin on it, but the Zohar is putting another reason why you should be very careful with Shasa Mincha. The Fishos Shah Midas Hadin, because that's a time of Midas Hadin. Midas Hadin in the world, as the sun is setting. So that's why it's also a secret. Yitzchak Tikein Tfilas Mincha, because Yitzchak Midas Din, Kayadua. Because the Hanoga is already shifting. It hasn't become Din Mamish until night comes in. And that's why you could still say Yud Gimel Midas Rachamim. You could still say, Takano and other things. You could still say Vidui, some of these things are mutter at night also, but not Yud Gimel Midas Rachamim, as an example. But we just stay away from all these things at night. But the Hanoga is already shifting at Mincha time, and that's why I think Mechav and Mincha, because dinim are beginning to awaken. And it's as din, but the Bavli is more positive. It's to be Mechabin and be very Zar Mincha because Eliyahu and others were only answered B'Shas HaMincha. The bottom line is everyone agrees, be very zara with Tfilas Mincha and take it very seriously. Because of Sefer Bereshis Daf Ches Amid Aleph, so Sefer Bereshis Ches Amid Aleph, Ubezar Chadash is also in the Zohar Chadash. But pasuk regarding pasuk the film layu ba'aretz, the giants were on earth, it says, and, at the end of Parshas Bereshis. Shem Azazel, the giants were these fallen angels, Azza and Azael. V'ayin Sham Obrach bin Azazel, so over there, take a look. Here's one, Shlomo Gazi doesn't want to quote the whole thing. So he just says, look over there, there's a lot that they say about Azza and Azael. V'sham b'medrash Rus, b'orach inyan zev, and also in Zohar Chodesh on Medrash Rus, that's, Zohar Chodesh on Rus. There's also a great deal on this. V'gam inyan malachim, it also speaks in general about it, ki shemalach echad mitz'akev olav hazeh, shemeyom zach zeh shuv en lekoach la'uf la'alos umkomo. If ever an angel is sent down to this world for longer than 7 days, it gets stuck here, and it cannot go up to its back to heaven. And those are the Nephilim, the fallen ones. These are the angels that got stuck here. But Baruch meant for them to get stuck here. It was Makatrik on Brias Adam. And Azazel is representative of Azza va'Azael, Kayadua. Okay. Kosov B'Sei for Bereshis, Medrash Elam. There's a part of Zohar, it's called Medrash Elam. It's a Reish Daf Kuf Al from the base. But Pasuk Yinei Bo'el. Right, this is referring to, they ask, where's Sarah, your wife? It says, she is in the tent. Amar, so Zohar says regarding the angels were not asking, they Taka did not know. Says, there's I know Rashi and some of other Lashons of Chazal say they knew, but they just wanted to draw everyone's attention to what a tznuah she is, hanging out in the oil, not going out in the Rosh Hashanah. No, but according to Zohar, they were asking legit. They really didn't know because they don't know what goes on in this world except what HaKadosh Baruch Hu lets them know, informs them. That's why they asked legit, where is Sarah? So not like, the Pshat, I believe is in Rashi, and in other Lashons Chazal that they knew, they just want to be Mechav L'Chavva Al Ba'ala, but rather they were asking legit, where is Sarah? Because the angels don't know what goes on in this world except what they're informed. What they only know what they have to know. They know on a have to know basis. That's how now Zohar very famous thing we say, by Max right? So the Zohar expects you to have in mind the drasha that the Bala Gada brings. Me and not the angel. Why? Well, send an angel to do it. Ma baya. Which is a part of the Zohar, incorporated in the Zohar. Asks, of course, we didn't have angels to send. You could have sent angels to do makas. Of course, you would think. Ella Barad, Fisha Bachim, Mafrim, Ben Tipas Pro, Tipas Pashut. So the Madas, Venom Yodim, Ella Bedvarim Ha'atidim. Right, but at the time, if the Malachim can't know which tipa, which tipa is a Bechor and which tipa is not a Bechor, which was really a real Bechor that was produced from the first tipa, and which was produced from the second tipa, and at that time. That's a famous question. They don't need to know the difference between. It is the famous question. I don't remember. I remember once learning, I think, a Kli Chemda on this, or Yosef Engel. There's a very, he's a Kosh Baruch Hu, based on his Zohar. It could be it's another Shas. Only a Kosh Hu knows the difference between Tipa of a Bechor and which was not Tipa Bechor. What do you care? It comes out, goes by Peter Rechem. You don't need to know which one was the first tipa. You just have to know which baby came out, first. All right. So why was it going Aliba the tipa at the time of Mitzrayim? That's a famous kasha, right? Which I don't remember the pilpulim on this offhand. You should go by Petarechem, which subsequently became the halacha afterwards because of Makas Bechoros. Now Amiso Asi Makadish all Bechorim Tachas Kol Bechor Beretz Mitzrayim, the Gosh was Makadish to Bechorim, and by Bechorim it goes by Peter Rechem. Who cares about the Tipa? Right, it goes by the whichever one came out of the womb, and you would think that's an observable fact. So why did it go Basar the Tipa over there? I remember there's there's Pilpulim on this. I think on Klechemda, the Palishes were Lefalpo in this Indian, but Echshelo, right? The Malchim and Mavchim Tipas Pchol, Tipas Poshet. They don't know which seed is the seed that is the real Bechor, which seed is the Poshet. So the Das said it wasn't given to Hebdoros, also Dvarim Hasidim. They don't know this particular thing. They know things that'll be in the future, right? Right now, why do I know the future? So like the present, like which tipa is a bechor and which isn't, that they don't know, right? But they do know future things. The future Hakadosh Baruch Hu wrote to Lavi Darbam, Mavir Cruz Baruch, because the angels are there to bring about the future, bring about the future event. So it's part of their mission. They know the future because they're supposed to go down and make that future. Right, so Kodesh Baruch Hu, has a mission. He does, to make something happen, moving forward. So there's a cruise, a heavenly voice rings out in Shemaim, and they hear it, and they know what's going to be, and they have to make it so, make sure that event happens. But the principle is the same. They only know what they're informed, so they're informed of the future. Because it's their job to bring about that future, but they are not necessarily informed. No, there's the tipa of a bechor and a poshet. Okay. Because they embrace after you test on the base. So Azor embraced test on base on Rabbi Yehuda, right? Right, said Rabbi Yehuda. Shulchan Mishem Mitzad Rachman and Osim Shichos Din. Angels that are sent to do missions, that are Mitzad Rachman, they don't do missions of din. It's not in their programming. So you might ask that, Bilam, the angel revealed to himself to Bilam. It doesn't say the source, but I'm sure there's a source for this. The angel revealed himself to Bilam was actually the angel of Rachamim, but the angel now pulled out his sword and turned into an angel of din, because that fits with what Chazal say. Rishoyim, they are so accursed because of the cosmic damage that they do, that they're mahapech rachamim ledin. But the question, okay, fine, that's, in the way the Rebbe chooses to run the world. But you say that an angel can only do what's in its spiritual DNA. So if it has spiritual DNA of rachamim, how could it do din? They showed also now the rachim I saw shul nimshach din lebilam menagam. So it says the Zara Teretz, because the din against the Rishayim was actually rachamim on Klal Yisrael, because he was coming to curse Klal Yisrael, and he had to get warned, so it was out of rachamim to Klal Yisrael that he's doing din against Bilam, who's the enemy of Klal Yisrael, right? So it's not a steer to rachamim, to be merachim on Yisrael. In order to be merachim on Yisrael, you had to do din against Bilam. But by the way, this Zohar, is really the real explanation of what everyone asked, the famous Kasha, right? That Etzem says the answer, right? We say three angels have come to Avram, but then Rashi goes on to say that Rafal, that healed Avram, he's the one who saved Lot. That's shtei shlichus. So it means you can't do two different shlichus that have two different spiritual roots. Just like the Zohar saying over here, a malach of rachamim can't do din, right? So it's only this angel did din as a function of its being merachim on Am Yisrael, right? But he can't do that, has a different shirish. So of course, as the Sifsei Betzim says, without getting Kabbalistic, to save someone is the same shirish as healing someone. Heal someone, you're taking, saving them from a internal menace. So it's Hatzalah. Refuah is Hatzalah. So Refuah could be Matzil Lot. It's from the same shorish. That would say it can't do shtei. When the two shlichuyot come from two different spiritual shorashim. But if it's all from the same shorish, it can do a lot of different things as long as it's all from the same shorish. Okay, one more. Because they've braced up Kumem Kufmem Dalit Amidal, so the safe bracious or bracious. Kumem Dalit Amidal, picture and ask, Kiacha Shakosov, Mishosvesha Loet. Paul says about the angels, the Malachim, that they're his servants are Ashla, a burning fire, right? A burning fire, a flaming fire. Right? So how did Yaakov wrestle with it? It's like, you can't wrestle with it. It's not First of all, he would burn his hands off, right? A. Yeah, B is he can't grab on. The question is obvious, so I don't have to explain. With H below, it's how did Yaakov wrestle with H lo hate, in Parshas Vayishlach. Veishiv and the Zohar answers, Mikadlo Manda, from here we learn, when the angels come down, they actually become physical, not in essence, they become physical externally, that Misvav, they take on a bodily form. I read in other svarim that as they pass through the elements, it's easier to explain what the Ram writes in the Torah, that the Arba Yesedis are between here and the moon. That's where they are be'etzem and they're mashpia on the Aretz, right? Right. So as it goes through the Arba Yesedis, it builds itself a body out of the Arba Yesedis that it passes through. I remember reading in one sefer, right? Vizehu, and that is Shekos Avram ve'ochlu, that according to Zohar, Mamish ate, when they were by Avram. It was a lashon chazal. They just pretended. They pretended to eat. They didn't really eat. There's a lashon. This Zohar says they mamish ate because they get a type of body as they come to earth. They get a type of body. Like I said, it's in the chitzonis. They lose that body when they go back to heaven. It just evaporates, goes back to its elements. But they get a body, and that body could mamish eat, and it's a body that Yaakov Avinu could mamish wrestle with. Right? Okay, this is a Zohar that's hard to stem with the Rambam. Rambam says, there's the famous Shita Rambam that any encounter with an angel is only b'mara and nevuah. So, Bapashtas, this Zohar is not like, the Rambam is not, doesn't stem with this Zohar. Okay, Yesh Harbe Layin. Okay, we will stop here. Schus of the Zohar Kodesh, should be omid for Klal Yisrael, the virus, Kotzim and Akerem, look me Shchinta me Afro, Bein Yivivkum me Galusa Baracham, and man, do we need it. Amen. Can ye hear us? So.